Well, are y'all about ready to get started?
We are.
Okay. Well, hello, folks. This is Pastor Steve Cape, and sitting all the way to my left is my lovely wife, Mrs. Cape.
Wanda Cape.
And sitting here beside us in the middle is Heather Cape. And we're coming to you again on this Thursday, July the 9th. And for some of you, this is the second time we're coming to you. And some of you may have seen a live video earlier today and that we tried to do. Two things about it that we didn't really like. Number one, it was too long. Number two, it was sideways, and we could not figure out how to...
You had to turn your computer this way to watch it.
Or that away.
Or that away.
And same thing with your phone. By the time you turned your phone, that it would switch and go the opposite direction. So we told you we don't know what we're doing. And we're trying to figure all of this out.
So if you missed it, you missed a good laugh.
That's right.
But anyway, so we're coming back to you on this Thursday, which makes this
Thankful Thursdays.
And we are very thankful for not only your viewing our video today, but our having the opportunity to come into your place of viewing. And but we're very thankful for some news that we received this week.
Yes.
We sent out a email or a video post as well, and we also put out another post, a picture of Heather, to tell a little bit about that. But Miss Kate, why don't you explain what we're most thankful for this week?
Well, we're most thankful for answered prayers.
Amen.
Thank you very much for those of you that are praying for Heather and praying for our family. We cannot tell you what that means to us, and because of your prayers, we feel like God is hearing and He's answering those prayers. We got an email this week after our visit at Vanderbilt, and it was the MRI radiologist report where the radiologist had read the MRI, not just the doctor. And in that MRI, there is some great news that tells us about the splenium of the corpus callosum, which is the area that they were giving radiation to.
Now, the splenium is the very backward part of the corpus callosum. Corpus callosum, of course, is the middle part. It actually kind of is shaped, if you will, like a bent finger, and if you will, but it's in the middle of the brain. And it is what connects the right hemisphere to the left hemisphere. It actually has over 300 million axons, and so it's sending messages back and forth to the hemispheres.
It's a communication center, right?
It really is. And so, again, Heather has had most of the left hemisphere removed in 2015. That is the left hemisphere, except for a little bit of the occipital lobe toward the back of the brain on the left side. And then beside that is a little piece, a little small piece of the corpus callosum, which that last little ending is called the splenium, as Ms. Cape was talking about a moment ago.
And that's how her seizures are coming back over to the right side.
Rasmussen's syndrome is a horrible disease.
Yes.
And we've heard neurosurgeons and neurologists say they would never wish that upon their worst enemy at all, to have the disease of Rasmussen's. It's 1 out of every 10 million. And there is no cure for Rasmussen's, but there has been this type of surgery that's been going on the last few years to remove an entire hemisphere. And that's what took place and happened with Heather in 2015.
I had a friend describe it as that the left side of the brain is just fighting to live, and really that seems like what it's doing is continuing to fire activity and get things back over to the right side, and it's fighting as hard as it can to live. But anyway, you got to tell them about the what size it went to.
Okay, it went from the email that we received from the radiologist report of the MRI was it measured on February the 20th of this year 10 millimeters, which is a little more than 3/8 of an inch. But then on June the 30th, last week's MRI, it went down to 6 millimeters. That meant in 4 months, it went down a millimeter per month, which is a little less than a quarter of an inch. Now it's very, very small, but if you can imagine again, no doubt still the thousands and thousands, and no doubt possibly even millions of not only the axons that are still connected there in the very back, but also the blood supply that's there. And but it is dying. The purpose of the radiation is the atrophy and necrosis, for it to just continue to waste away, to break up those connections. And so that was the wonderful report. Now we need you to continue to help us to pray. And so we're asking you to pray, asking God, Lord, continue to shrink that splenium of Heather's brain.
Yes.
And He knows exactly what it is, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we're made in His very image. You know, the Bible tells us this, Miss Cape and Heather, in James chapter 1 and verse 17, every good gift and every perfect gift comes from above, is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Now the Bible tells us that our God is a God who never changes. Our God is a God who has no variableness whatsoever. Our God has no shadow of turning. The scripture says He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So He's very faithful. And so everything, every good thing that we receive comes from the Lord. And we're grateful and thankful for His many, many blessings that, of course, that He has given to each one of us as well.
That's right.
And we have some other exciting news that we're trying to continue to tell people about. And
if you haven't seen Heather's film yet, and you're interested in Heather, you've been following her, you know she has half a brain. Well, in order to know the entire story makes it more of a huge blessing to you when you know who she is and what she's been through. And that is her film, A Song in the Storm, which we will be showing on Friday, February the 17th, Friday, February the 17th,
That's right.
starting at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
we are going to be showing the film. It'll be live on Facebook as well as YouTube. And we're likewise going to have some live interviews that will take place, and starting at 6:45, then promptly at 7 o'clock, we're going to be showing the film. Now, we need your help. We want your help. Heather's film has been viewed by thousands of people, tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands. We're not sure. We do know that her film has been viewed in many, many churches, over 1,000 churches, and again, hospitals, many places like that, as well as across the world through avenues like Vimeo online streaming. But now we're seeking to push it out even further, and it's all free. Next week, it's all free on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So don't miss that. Please help us to share it. And I believe the way you call it is you start a watch party, so somebody else can start watching it along with you. And so you share it with your friends and their friends to share it with others, just so we can continue to get the word out. We believe it'll be a great blessing to many people.
It's an encouraging film, and though it's Heather's story, it's about our wonderful Savior and how He's answered prayer over and over and over for us.
That's right. That's right. It not only talks about Heather's life, but it talks about our family, what that we've gone through, how to have the kind of love for other people, how to have the kind of love that we have for each other, and then, of course, the love that we have toward our God and our continued service and desire to please Him. You know, there are people everywhere that have needs in their life, and you may be watching today and you have a special need. It may be that you have a child that has a need, or a spouse, a husband and wife, or a mom and dad. It may be that you have an illness that's an incurable disease. It may be that something that you're dealing with that it's been a lifetime for you to go through this. And the Bible talks about there are different seasons that we have in life, and sometimes we carry a burden that's just for a day or two, sometimes for seasons, and other time for a life. And but again, I say this to you, our desire has been to be a help and a blessing to other people, through whatever they may be going through, and reminding them that God's too good to ever do us wrong and too wise to ever make a mistake.
That's right.
And we believe that firmly.
There was a post recently from a friend of ours who had had a doctor's appointment, and she felt led to pray with her doctor and was ministering to her doctor. Her doctor actually kind of started the conversation, but then our friend Rachel decided to take it further and prayed with her medical doctor. And we've done that so many times. And just look for those open doors of opportunity that you can do that and be a blessing to those that are being a blessing to you.
Because not only are there many other homes and families that are hurting, but again, the very people that are seeking to work with you and your relationship with your family member, they have families too,
Right.
and they have hurts, they have pains. There are people in the medical field today that are dealing with cancer themselves,
That's right.
and they are maybe have a child that's ill, or we have met so many people in the medical profession that they got into the medical profession because of a loved one who had an illness and a problem, and they wanted to reach out and help other people as doctors had assisted them too.
Exactly.
So again, help us with that. Now, here's another thing. Second thing we want to talk to you about is something we've been announcing, and you'll continue to hear more about it over the next week. But it's also about another event that's taking place on July the 18th. That's one day after, of course, we're showing the film, Heather's film, on July the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
What is that, Miss Kate?
That is our one-day Connect 4 Family Special Needs Health and Wellness Conference.
Okay.
It'll be virtual from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so again, this is our second annual. Last year we had the very first one, and this year will be the second annual. However, we're not having it in person. Last year we had a good number come for the very first time after just a couple of months of inviting people to come. But this year, all of you can come. And
Yeah, that's what's exciting.
We're having this virtual. It will be live, and by the way, we'll tell you this: we will be the right size, we will be at the right height, and we will
Bar none.
bar none. We won't be sideways, and you'll be able to hear us clearly and see us all right.
That's right.
And we want you to participate
Yes.
next Saturday,
There you
July
go.
the 18th. And again, it's only for 3 hours, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. If you cannot be a part of all 3 hours, please come and get as much of it as you possibly can.
And it's completely free.
Yes.
And we will answer any questions. If you go ahead and submit those through Messenger to Heather Cape, we will get those in order and get ready to answer those next Saturday.
That's right. So 4 main sessions. We're going to have some live interviews. The question and answer time, as Mrs. Kate mentioned. And one of those subjects that we are teaching on is this: how to work.
Working relationship.
How to work with your relationship that's working with your relationship. How to work with those who work with your relationship.
Right.
And I don't want you to miss that, because that's going to be a pretty special time as well. Then many other things, of course, that we're going to be teaching, and it'll be pretty exciting, and we're looking forward to it as well.
You know, when you're praying, if you'll just keep a good attitude about your prayer, sometimes we're wanting God to answer our prayers so badly, and when He doesn't come through when we think He should or like He should, it affects us. And go ahead and tell the Lord that it's going to be okay. Whatever He decides to do is going to be okay, because it really is. And that will help you so much. It's helped me a lot through the years of different prayers we would pray, and it was like a dead-end road, and like the Lord said no. And even it was like that last week, Monday, when we met with the doctor. But then 4 days later, I mean, we didn't get real upset about it. We just asked for prayer. We needed wisdom to know exactly where to go from this. But then we get this encouraging email stating that there's shrinkage to the splenium of the corpus callosum. So we're excited, and just continue to pray.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So we ask you to do that. Don't give up. Don't dare give up.
Never give up.
Keep going
Keep
to the
hope.
Lord. Nothing is impossible with the Lord. And when you've lost hope, you've lost everything.
That's right.
And but with Christ, He is our hope. And we praise God not only for the salvation that He provides, but also for the grace that He gives us every single day in our life. Heather, you know, when we travel many times down the road, we'll sing songs together, won't we? Many times I'll pick a verse and I'll sing a Bible verse, and then you'll pick one, Mama will pick one, and we'll sing different verses out of the Bible, verses that we put to memory. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Or we'll sing other songs, and we will sing songs like this, I Will Serve Thee. Can we sing that? Let's sing that together. You ready? I will serve Thee because I love Thee. You have given life to me. I was nothing before You found me. You have given life to me. Heartaches, broken pieces, ruined lives are why You died on Calvary. Your touch was what I longed for. You have given life to me. We like to sing it with this. There's something mighty sweet about the Lord. There's something mighty sweet about the Lord. It really doesn't matter what the people say. There's something mighty sweet. Amen, folks. Thank you so very much again for watching this Thankful for Thursday. We haven't been very silly today, and we've had a lot of people, they said, I can't wait till Thankful Thursdays because you make us laugh. And but anyway, we're just thankful and grateful that you have tuned in today. So
right.
we appreciate that very, very much. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Well, we better get up and shut the video off.
All right.
And,
Take care, everybody.
all
Let's
right.
have a good week. Yes.
Lord bless you, folks.
Take care.
Take care. It's good to see you.
You too.
Who's going to go and turn it off?
Yeah, me too.
At least my finger was long enough.
None of our fingers
None
are
of our
long
fingers
enough.
are long enough, yeah. Well, we're going to say goodbye.
Y'all close your eyes while we turn off the video.
Here we go. Here we go. Right. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. Let's see. Come a little closer. Let's see right over in there. Do you see?
We're going to
anybody?
do just like we did on that live video.
Yeah, Heather.
I can't find
Heather,
it.
can you see it?
You see it, Heather?
I can't see it.
Can't see it. Okay. Let's see. We're going to try to see about Heather and seeing it. Can you see?
Can you turn it off, Heather?
There it is.